Welcome to this Bloodline Champions character profile on the Alchemist. The Alchemists offer any team strong support as they are one of the healing classes within Bloodline Champion. So the first spell I'm demonstrating here is called Healing Potion. Quite simple, it's the primary healing spell for the Alchemist. It can be used on herself or teammates. As you can see by mousing over my teammate and throwing Healing Potion, I'm able to get back some of the health that she may have lost in combat. Another strong support ability is Barrier. Casted on the Alchemist here, it gives her increased movement speed and also absorbs damage. It can be cast on her or her teammates. Unlike most games, Bloodline Champions healers aren't forced into just healing. They also have great CC and damage output. The CC ability you saw just there was Sleep Vial that can put people to sleep, and this one's Deadly Injection, a poison that will later explode, dealing damage to enemies around it. Like all Bloodlines, the Alchemist also has an ultimate. Her ultimate is Crippling Goo, where she throws a concoction that will explode and cover the ground in goo, and will deal massive amounts of damage over time to enemies stood in it. So let's take the Alchemist into a 3v3 matchup and see just how she plays. Even though I'm playing a healer, it's hugely important I put out as much CC as possible to make healing a lot easier for me and my team. At the beginning of the fight, I control the Igniter, who looks dangerous and annoying. Then I throw some heals, which are quite easy to land since my teammates are next to me. The Harbinger there took a lot of damage off to my left, so I've given him Barrier to absorb some of the incoming damage. Now it's all about getting his health back up, which I try to do. The Igniter once again is trying to harass me, so I put him to sleep and then get back onto healing. But I get pulled into the fight by one of the tanks. Giving myself Barrier, I'm able to evade a lot of damage, get safely away before once again challenged. Putting that tank to sleep, I give myself some time to heal myself up, and once I build ultimate, I get to unleash it on the Igniter and kill it. Because frankly, he was pretty annoying, that guy. Anyway, Alchemist for the win. Welcome to this Bloodline Champions character profile on the Gunner. The Gunners are a ranged damage class. They can deal an immense amount of damage in a short amount of time. Although powerful in offense, they have to be very careful in defense as they are quite a fragile class to play. So the first ability I'm going to show you of the Gunner is Execute Shot, a ranged shot that can travel through opponents while stunning and dealing huge amounts of damage. This ability here is Stealth, can be used obviously defensively but also offensively to line up a powerful shot. The next ability I'm going to show you is Rocket Jump. Wherever I face my mouse cursor and use Rocket Jump, I'll Rocket Jump away from my mouse cursor while stunning opponents near me and dealing damage. Great for a defensive move. Though Rocket Jump isn't just a defensive ability. Like all abilities in Bloodline Champions, it's designed to be open-ended, where you can use it either defensive or offensively to help fit the way you like to play your class. As you can see, I've used it offensively here to gain position on the enemies while going stealth and lining up a powerful execute shot. This could be a great way to start a game and also could build huge momentum for your team. The last ability you see here is a Mortar. As you saw, I fired a ball in the air that when landed dealt damage to my opponents and also blinded them, a great CC ability. So let's take the Gunner into a 3v3 matchup and see just how she plays. At the start of this round, I'm going to use Rocket Jump to get closer to my opponents. But now I'm going to stealth so they can't see me, where I'll be able to line up an execute shot. And hitting it onto the Rounded Assassin, we've had a great start. Here I'm going to blind the Ravener with Mortar to help my teammate, but now I'm being challenged by the Rounded Assassin, I decide to Rocket Jump away. Rocket Jumping away, I've realized I've now got a 2-on-1 fight, which I take, and dealing a massive amount of damage to the Engineer with another execute shot, I'm able to finish him off nicely. With only 2 more opponents to clean up, I do that easily with the Gunner, and as you can see at the end of the round, she's received no real damage, but has put out the most damage in game. What a boss. Welcome to this Bloodline Champions character profile on the Spearmaster. The Spearmaster are experts at melee damage, hit and run tactics, and controlling his enemies. What I'm about to show you in this video are some of the Spearmaster's core abilities that make him so unique in the game Bloodline Champions. The first ability is a Harpoon, where the Spearmaster will throw his spear and when connecting with an enemy will transfer the Spearmaster to the enemy. The second ability is Fleetfoot, which allows the Spearmaster to become invulnerable and also pass through his enemies. The third ability is Whirling Blade, which is an AoE attack which will incapacitate all enemies it hits. And the fourth ability is a Shuriken Throw, which when hits opponents will bounce between them and also slow them. This ability that you saw just there is actually a Kunju, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But as you can see, this is a nice combination, as I've used the Harpoon into Fleet Foot into Whirling Blade and then a Shuriken and dealt massive amounts of damage while receiving none. So let's take the Spearmaster into a 3v3 matchup when we see just how he plays with his abilities. In this matchup, the Spearmaster will be going against 3 Bloodlines which are heavily focused on dealing damage, so it's crucial that he goes in, controls and slows the enemy to help build momentum for his team. As you can see already, he's gone in with a Harpoon, managed to hit a Whirling Blade and a Shuriken, and that's greatly helped his team get position and also an advantage over the opposing team. What you're also going to see in this small game is going to be a Kunju. A Kunju, as I mentioned earlier, is a defensive ability, and while the Spearmaster is using the Kunju, if he is hit, he will counter-attack his enemy while simultaneously looking awesome to everyone around. And there's the Kunju on the fireball that gets the Spearmaster a kill. Well, that brings us to the end of this character profile on the Spearmaster. If the Spearmaster seems like your bloodline of choice to take into the arena for Bloodline Champions to wreak havoc and destruction upon your opponents, we wish you the best of luck. Welcome to this Bloodline Champions character profile on the Thorn. The Thorns are one of the tank classes in Bloodline Champions and go into combat to control and fight their enemies by using nature itself. So let's demonstrate some of Thorn's abilities. The first one is Deadwood Seed, an ability that when hits an enemy will later explode, entangling them to the ground, great for control. The second ability is Mudwalk, where the Thorn travels underground and wherever he pops up he will deal damage but also interrupt enemy casting. This ability here is called Defiled Plant, where Thorn plants a seed in the ground that later travels towards Thorn, pulling all enemies in its way. This ability here is called Earth Blast, a projectile that when hits an opponent will explode, leaving a deadly spore cloud that does damage over time. Like all Bloodline champions, Thorn has the ability to unleash an ultimate attack. His ultimate is called Dead Roots, where he travels underground leaving dead roots in his way that deals a massive amount of damage to all enemies stood in it. So let's take Thorn into a 3v3 matchup and see exactly how he plays. Thorn is a tank and primarily wants to focus on controlling the fight, but when he does get a chance you should try and pump out as much damage as possible, but control is key to any tank. At the start of the game I mudwalk to get closer to my opponents and throw a Deadwood Seed which connects with the igniter. That keeps him in place so I can hit him with an Earth Blast. Here I line up a Defiled Plant to bring in both my enemies and now manage to pull out some significant damage. Losing my enemies, I once again use Mudwalk to get back on them and also interrupt the igniter's cast. Now I'm close to building my ultimate with Thorn, I need to think about how I'm best going to use it. Bringing my enemies in and using a CC, I'm able to line them up for a Dead Roots ultimate. Both of them are taking significant damage and I win the game quite easily. As you can see, Thorn is a really fun class to play, heavily focused on control and being awesome. I hope you enjoy it.